The Quran is a book that contains many rules and regulations for a living. It also contains passages that point to science. Now, this episode is going to be featuring a collection of facts found in the Quran that have been proven by science. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of FTD Facts. My name is Leroy Kenton, and definitely watch this video until the end. For those of you who are Muslim or not, I think you're going to learn something new either way. All right, starting at number 10, let's look at embryology. In the Quran, Surah 23, verses 12 to 14, it says the following, and I quote, "And certainly did we create man from an extract of clay. Then we placed him as a sperm drop in a firm lodging. Then we made the sperm drop into a clinging clot, and we made the clot into a lump of flesh, and we made from the lump bones, and we covered the bones with flesh. Then we developed him into another creation. So blessed is Allah, the best of creators." And in that passage there, we see the whole order when it comes to embryology. Now, for fact number 9, we have the universe expansion, and this is found in Surah 51, verses 47. This passage goes like this, "And the heaven we constructed with strength, and indeed we are its expanders." Now, the American astronomer by the name of Edwin Hubble, he discovered that stars and galaxies continuously move away from one another, as well as moving away from our planet Earth. Now, a universe in which everything continuously moves away from one another means that the universe is continuously expanding, like infinitely expanding. The next scientific fact at number 8 is the meeting of the seas. In Surah Ar-Rahman, it states the following, "He releases the two seas meeting side by side. Between them is a barrier so neither of them transgress." And that's more specifically taken from the 55th Surah, verses 19 to 20. And science has discovered that in places where two different seas actually meet, there's a barrier that divides them, which helps both the seas maintain their own temperature and as well as the salt content of the sea, as well as its own density. Yeah, very, very interesting. All right, moving on to number 7. Let's look at the fact relating to tectonic plates. We now know that tectonic plates are produced in a process that is known as seafloor spreading, and this occurs at mid-ocean ridges where magma bursts out of the earth to produce oceanic crust. This process also produces volcanoes on the ocean floor, and those turn into seamounts. And in the Quran, Surah 50, verses 7, we find this, "And the earth we spread it out and cast therein firmly set mountains and made grow therein something of every beautiful kind." Next up at number 6, let's look at meteorites. When the meteor enters the Earth's atmosphere, the meteor heats up so much that it starts to shine brightly, and the air burns up the meteorite, and then it vanishes into nothing pretty much. Now, in the Quran, Surah 52, verses 44, it actually talks about this. It says, "Even if they were to see lumps of the sky falling down, they would say a mass of clouds." So the people would think that there are clouds because, well, ash of the meteor, they look like clouds. We have more facts to look at. At number 5, mountains have roots and they float. Now, the highest point on Earth is in the Himalayas at Mount Everest, and this mountain has roots 256 kilometers deep. This was recorded in Life Science, Depth of Himalayan Mountain Roots Revealed back in the year of 2010. Now, the Quran, Surah 78, verses 7 says, "And the mountains as pegs." Also, the Quran, Surah 75, verses 32 says, "And the mountains he anchored." So pegs are used to hold, of course, a tent or other things and structures in place. So pegs are used to hold a tent or other structures in place, and pegs have part of it above the ground and part of it below the ground. Now, the Arabic word arsaha means anchored, and this is a term used that applies to ships floating on water, similar to how the mountains or many other landforms actually float above a semi-molten atmosphere. Number 4 brings us the fact of everything is in pairs. The Quran says that everything is made of pairs, and today we know that all matter is in pairs. Matter and antimatter, electrons and protons, and so on. Now, when we look in Surah 36, verses 36, it says, "Glory to him who created in pairs all things that the land produces, and their own kind, and other things of that they have no knowledge of." Moving on to number 3. the atmosphere protects us. The atmosphere protects the Earth from radiation and meteorites, like I mentioned earlier, and this is actually mentioned in the Quran, and it's something that has been discovered by scientists. So take a look at Surah 21 verses 32. It says this, "And we made the sky a protective shield, and they turn away from its signs." The factor number 2 leads us to sound waves. According to the University of Washington, the original sound waves were not temperature variations, but they were actually real sound waves that were spreading around the universe. When we look at Surah 41 verses 11 of the Quran, it says this, "Then he directed himself to the heaven when it was smoke, and then said to it and to the earth, 'Come willingly or by force.' They said, 'We do come willingly.'" So for this passage, the heaven is replying back, which implies that the heavens had a voice, which could mean that it emitted sound waves. Now we end this episode off with number 1, planets, stars, etc. They all move. For centuries, it was believed that the Earth was fixed and that the sun and the moon and the planets revolved around the Earth. But take a look at this interesting passage in the Quran, Surah 39 verses 5. This is what it says. "Allah created the heavens and the earth in truth. He overlaps the night over the day and overlaps the day over the night, and enslaves the sun and the moon. All move to a pre-recorded destiny. Is he not the exalted, the forgiver?" And just like that, guys, we made it to the end of this episode. This is a look at 10 scientific facts in the Quran. Really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Definitely a very interesting video. Very, very fascinating. As always, I want to hear your thoughts and comments about anything that was mentioned down below. I also want to take this time to thank our FTD Facts monthly members who help support our channel with their monthly contributions. Thank you guys so much. You allow us to continue to produce videos like this, and you allow us to continue to produce even more and more content on a regular basis. So thank you guys so much. Your support is greatly appreciated. Now, if you are somebody who is interested in becoming an FTD Facts member and want to continue to support our channel in that way, I do have a link below in the video description section where it has all the details for you. Either way, it's awesome still having you hang out with us here on FTD Facts, where we share facts and information about the various countries, cultures, religions, and people of our world. Until next time, guys, stay awesome, stay educated. I'll see you soon.